Hi, it's Megan. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you a tour of my pantry and my food storage room, as well as my freezers, just to kind of show you what I've been able to stock back up on and kind of my current state of things after we have moved and we've been living in our new house for about 6 weeks or so. So I'll turn the camera around and show you what I have. I do like that we have a water dispenser and ice dispenser in here because we've never had those before. But I really, like, this is my least favorite setup for fridges and freezers, is the tall stand-by side, because they're so deep and it's been very difficult to actually utilize this space very well. So it looks chaotic, and that's because it is. So let's start in the door. This is where I keep my yeast. I have my one that's open and then my backup. And then down here, this is where I keep my ice packs for when we're packing lunches. And then I decant my open yeast into this because this is much easier and less messy to get my yeast out of when I'm baking. So I just keep this full, and then when it's low, I just refill it from my open yeast container. Down here, I have some chopped spinach, frozen spinach, as well as some butter. And then if we look up here at the top, right now I just have random frozen things. I have a bag of croissants and a bag of burger buns. Behind that I have a frozen breakfast that my husband wants for his birthday, a thing of pie crusts for when I make chicken pot pie, and then in the very back I have some garlic knots for just a quick side for dinners. So I have tried to organize this a little bit. Currently it's not completely organized, but ideally this next shelf would be like my frozen treat shelf. So we have like some ice cream back here in the back, as well as some Otter Pops. These frozen strawberries should actually be down with the frozen fruit, so I'll move those right now. And then down here we also have some like ice cream sandwiches, but we've eaten down those a little bit, so I can probably move those up to our treat shelf now. And then this shelf is supposed to have other things that we might be needing for like quick lunches or dinner. So I have like lunch meat here. This is freshly ground whole wheat flour that I keep in the freezer so it doesn't go rancid before I need it again. I have a big thing of pepperoni here. I have some more lunch meat down here. In the back, I have more hot dog and hamburger buns. And then this drawer is for frozen fruit and breads. So in here I have a loaf of like our homemade sandwich bread. I have a loaf of our English muffin bread that I made last week. And then I also have some frozen fruit for smoothies. And then, oh look, more hot dog buns, and these more hamburger buns, and more strawberries. So again, I'll probably reorganize this better, but for now, this is what we're working with. And then down here, this is where I have just like our fast frozen food options. So I have like our dino nuggets for the girls. I have this rotisserie chicken strips for quick lunches for me. I have another kind of chicken nuggets, and then I also usually have our frozen fries down here if we have it. So that is everything I have in my inside freezer. Let's go look at what we have in the outside freezer. So our deep freezer now we have to keep in the garage. So sorry if it's a little bit more echoey. Also, they're still working on our yard, so you might hear some construction happening as well. But this is the same deep freezer that we had in our old house. Again, like I said, we just now have to keep it in the garage because of space. So in here, I have been able to organize this a little bit better than I did in my last house. So I'm really glad about that. But up here, I have a couple of frozen pizzas for my daughter's birthday party. This bag, I've tried organizing things in bags and bins so that they're easy to pull out and easily access. So in this one, I have like pre-cooked chicken and or leftover like freezer meals. So I just have plain chicken in here, and then I have some like seasoned Cafe Rio chicken for like tacos, burritos, as well as some rice. I have another thing of chicken nuggets. Again, when we eat the ones that are in our inside freezer, I'll grab these to put into there, so more easily accessible. And then we have some mini corn dogs, again, for my daughter's birthday party. We also have a thing of fries. Since we're out of these in the inside freezer, I will take those in and transfer them there. Over here we have some tortillas, and then this bag is just full of cheese. It's a pretty decent sized bag. They've had really good cheese sales since we've moved here. So I've stocked back up on cheese, and we shouldn't need to buy any for a while. I have all different kinds, Mexican, cheddar, Colby Jack, mozzarella, pizza blends, all kinds of stuff in there, all just in this bag. And then down here at the bottom, I have a 10-pound bag of frozen chicken that you guys should have seen in my monthly grocery haul. Down here at the very bottom, I have a thing of frozen tortellini. I have a half gallon of frozen milk, and then I have a frozen pizza down here. Okay, and then over here, I keep like our bigger ice blocks in here for like our bigger coolers. Up here on top, I have a container that has hot dogs as well as breakfast sausage. And below that is where I keep my ground beef. This bag has all ground beef in it. I have one chuck roast over here. And then this container has like my smoked sausage and my chicken sausages. And then down here in this bag is where I mostly have my roasts and other cuts of beef. So I have a big pork roast here on top, and then I have various cuts of steak and some other beef roasts down here as well. That's everything that's in my big deep freezer outside. Okay, so here is my pantry. It is much, much smaller than what I had at the last house. And I don't have a very good light in here, so I'm hoping that you'll still be able to see things okay. But first off, similar to my last pantry, I do have some of these spice organizers here on the door. I keep most of my spices, I'll back up a little bit so you can see better. I do keep most of my spices actually like in my kitchen near where I am cooking. And these are kind of like my spices that I just don't use quite as often. And it was just a good place to store them. They're out of the way. I still see them frequently, and so I know what I have and when things are still good. But it's just nice to have those kind of up here. Now, something that's interesting about this pantry is that the shelves are fairly deep. And so I have lots of like layers of things. And so I'm trying to still figure out the best ways to kind of be able to easily access things and keep track of what I currently have. So up here at the top, this is kind of like our snack shelf. So in the front, we have peanut butter pretzels for my husband, Cheez-Its. These two are currently empty. I need to refill those. We have some trail mix. And then if we look behind them, I have some more snacks. I have another thing of pretzels and goldfish for my girls. And then behind those things, you can see I have my big thing of cooking oil as well as a container of vinegar. I don't use these too often, and I did get some smaller oil containers that I'm decanting this into just so that I can have it more accessible than having to pull out all of the snacks in order to get to these things. I don't use vinegar super often, but I also might get some kind of container to decant some of that into as well. And then over here behind the trail mix, we just have some extra treats, and avocado oil is back there. And then over here, I have this basket, which holds just other kinds of snacks. So in here currently, I have tortilla chips, rice crackers. I'll finish pulling this down so you can see it. So in here, I have like tortilla chips, rice cakes. I have some fruit snacks for my girls, snack bins, some suckers for trips, fruit bars. I have some crackers that I need to fill up some of my empty containers with. And then I have an almost empty box of granola bars. And this is just kind of things that are too big to go in containers, or they're like back stocks of things that I'm frequently refilling. And I'll show you kind of where I keep more of my back stock of things. But these are just kind of things that are open that we're currently eating and trying to go through. Back up here in the pantry, I have space for like 2 boxes of cereal, which is fine because we usually don't have more than like 2 or 3 open at a time. So I currently have Lucky Charms and Life up there, and then I can show you when we go upstairs to my food storage where we keep all of our backup cereals as well. And then back here behind the cereal, they're kind of hard to see, but I have some shelf-stable milk I like to keep a couple of these on hand just for when we are running low on milk and don't have time or the budget to go to the store, or in case of an emergency. If our fridge dies or something, I'll still be able to have milk to give my 2-year-old or to cook with if we need to. In here, I also added a hook and hung up our aprons. They're fairly out of the way, which is nice. And then coming down, so this top shelf was snacks mostly. And then this shelf is kind of breakfast things, and then like boxed things for like lunches or dinners. And it's kind of random, kind of not. Trying my best to still kind of figure out, and hopefully as we live here and I figure out how we actually use things, I'll be able to organize these spaces better. So over here we have our oats, and then behind that are a couple of packages of oats that I need to fill up my container with. So back here I have pancake mix, and underneath that I have a container for granola. I haven't bought any granola because I'm hoping to make some. I just haven't done that yet. So those will be back there. And then right here, this is a country gravy mix. So I just keep that over here with like my breakfasty things. And then we have honey that we often use for topping things. And then back behind it, we have a big bottle of syrup. Over here, we have some steel cut oats. And then behind that is where I keep like a couple of muffin mixes. I have more upstairs in my like food storage. And then I just keep a couple down here to use. And then when I'm out, I can replenish with my things from upstairs. This just has powdered sugar that we use to like serve on top of German pancakes, which is a breakfast that we all really like. And then kind of here in the middle, this is something that's a little bit annoying about these shelves, is that they have these brackets here. My old pantry didn't have any of these like middle brackets. It was all supported just from like the boards around the shelves. And so this here does make it difficult to fully utilize this area because of its angle. I can only store like short things in this section. So here in the front, I have a container that has a bunch of our like oatmeal packets. And then behind it, I have a container that has my like Carnation instant breakfast packets. So those were short and could fit right there. And they do kind of go with like the breakfast stuff that I have going on this side of the shelf. And then over here, this basket is where I keep like our breads and our buns. So right now we have hot dog and hamburger buns. And then back here, I have a couple of brownie mixes. Again, I have more upstairs. And then I can just replenish down here when I need to. I have Ovaltine that my husband likes. This is all ramen. Like these two sections are all ramen. There's also a couple of boxes of mac and cheese. And then over here, I keep our white rice and our brown rice. And then behind those, I keep some pastaroni. So from this to the back is pastaroni. And then up here are a few other additional Kraft mac and cheeses, just because those are all quick, easy lunches. And that's kind of mainly what this kind of area is for, plus our rice as well. So this is my baking shelf. This is the next shelf down. And over here, I have my flour. Behind it, I have a thing of Bisquick. I have sugar here. Behind the sugar, I have a container of brown sugar and powdered sugar. Up here in front, I have baking powder. I also have a salt container that's just currently out right now that usually goes on top of that. Cocoa powder, baking soda. And then up here in front, I have some shredded coconut, chocolate chips. It looks like I need to get some more of those. So behind my baking powder and my cocoa powder, I have a thing of cornstarch, as well as some cream of tartar and vanilla. And then also back here, I have some powdered milk. And on top of that, I have my breadcrumbs. And then I have some peanut butter, as well as some mini chocolate chips that I keep over here. Popcorn probably should go up on my snack shelf, but this is just kind of where there's space for it, so it lives there for now. And then over here, I have some corn syrup, some microwave popcorn, a brown gravy mix. Over here in this green basket, I have other like spice and sauce mixes. And then back there in the very back, I have a can for my SOS mix, which I still haven't made. I've been trying to make since way before we moved in the last house. But this is basically a homemade mix that you can make your own cream of chicken or cream of whatever soups with. It's much, much cheaper and cost effective to do it this way. I did it a ton when we were first married. And then as our budget got a little bit bigger, we were able to buy more for convenience, getting the cream of chicken. soup just canned and not have to make it from scratch, but it's super easy and probably probably healthier. So that is a goal of mine in the next little bit, to refill this container so that we can also have that powdered mix option ready to go when I need it. And then I also have a thing of shortening up there. I usually use that to make pasties, which is also on my list to make probably later this summer or early fall is when I will work on making those. So down from my baking shelf, I have like my cans and my pastas. If you saw from my last house, this is definitely a very small percentage of the actual cans that we have, cans and jars. But down here, this is mostly what I'm working with. So if I'm trying to make dinner and I need to make something fast, I can just grab it from down here. And then when some of these things are low or out of stock, I can go up to my upstairs food storage, my upstairs pantry, and get a bunch of things all at once to restock this area. So down here, things that I keep on hand just to make quick, easy dinners. I have a jar of Alfredo sauce, a jar of just red pasta sauce. Again, I have more of those upstairs in my other food storage area. Back here, I have diced peppers with jalapenos. I also have just plain diced tomatoes. Up at the top, I have different kinds of beans. So I have some white beans and as well as some kidney beans. Next to that, I have some fruit. So I have some oranges and pineapples back there behind it. Next to that, I have a thing of sweetened condensed milk for treats. And then the blue can back behind it is evaporated milk. I have a couple of cream of chickens. And then I have one bottle of home canned peaches. I also have pears and applesauce upstairs, but currently I have I have both of those that are open in my fridge. So once these peaches are out of here, then I will restock and grab one of each of those, a bottle of applesauce, a bottle of pears, a bottle of peaches to keep down here. So that way I can, again, restore and replenish when I need to. Back here, down here to the bottom, since these are mostly like lunches and not necessarily for dinners, these are all just like pre-canned soups. So I have a bunch of like the chunky style, and then I have one of the tomato. So those will keep down here, just because I don't need to store those upstairs. And then over here, I have just little cans of tomato sauce. And then this side of the pantry is all 4 different kinds of pasta. So I have this big container that has macaroni noodles in it. I have another tall container. I have another tall container that has like taller, skinnier noodles like angel hair, fettuccine, spaghetti, those kinds of things. Behind that, I have a container of penne pasta, and those all fit nicely. And then over here in this basket, this is where I have more of like my bagged kinds. So I have like a thing of bow ties, a thing of rotini, some shells, some like corkscrew cavatappi, is that how you say it? Some rigatoni. And these are just so that I have at least one of pretty much any kind of pasta that I could want or need for a recipe. And then again, this also kind of helps me see, oh, this has been in here for a while, or we haven't had rotini in a while. I should probably make something with that kind. And then once this is low or empty, I can replenish this from my pasta stash upstairs. So behind this basket are some other kinds of pasta that we just don't use quite as much. I have a thing of jumbo shells. That's about halfway gone, so I need to make another batch of those soon. And then I have a container for lasagna noodles, and I just don't have any lasagna noodles right now. So I need to get some of those as well to stock back up on that. Okay, and then down here is the bottom shelf of my pantry. I'm very happy that this bottom shelf is tall enough that I can fit my 5-gallon buckets underneath. But again, because of the bar, I can only fit 3 in here. Currently, I just have 2 because I did run out of one and I need to restock it. But kind of back here in the back, you can see this one back here is my sugar. So I keep a 5-gallon bucket of sugar here to be able to refill my canister up here. This is the one that I'm working out of like day in, day out. And then I have this to refill it with. So I always keep a 5-gallon bucket down here of sugar. My 5-gallon bucket over here is for flour. And then usually behind this flour, I keep another 5-gallon bucket of wheat because I do grind my own wheat to make my family's like sandwich bread. I have a whole wheat recipe that I really like. And so I need to have my wheat berries down here and accessible as well. So from upstairs, I need to bring down a bucket of my wheat berries to put back in here. Currently, I also have one of my cases of Dr. Pepper, and then I just replenish my fridge from what's in here. And then we have our fire extinguisher. And then this is also where my girls' snacks are. So I have these 2 buckets that have just various snacks in them for them to have when they need a snack. I have some Otter Pops down here to go in the freezer once we finish eating the ones that are already in there. And then I was keeping, these are our graham crackers. I was keeping these up higher on like the snack shelf, but it was getting really crowded and hard to actually access them. And my girls eat these almost every day. So I just keep them down here at the bottom, and then they're pretty good about being able to open this and get it out, or at least if they can't open the container, they can bring me the container to get them some graham crackers. And then I have this basket in here just to help me when I am getting ready to make dinner. I can grab all of the things out that I need for my recipe and I just put them in here. Or if I am getting things from upstairs for a specific dinner or to bring them down, I can just bring them down in this basket and then I have them all together. And that just sits over here on top of the buckets. So that is everything that I have in my pantry. So that's everything that I have in my freezers. I'm feeling much better than I was a few weeks ago about the current state of things, kind of what I have in my freezers and how everything is going, especially with my stocking up. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure that you like and subscribe to see more videos like this. And thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.